right. Welcome in, guys. As always, as you come in, if you get an opportunity to, you can go ahead and um, check in as a where you are, what time it is, where you are. Um, Having a pretty good afternoon. It's been okay. All right, we'll be here, guys. So yeah, guys, as you check in, go ahead and let me know what time it is, where you are. What keeps me encouraged? My purpose. My children and my wife are one of the things that keep me moving at all times. Um, there is a strength in understanding your principles, developing your faith, and knowing exactly what the target is for your life, what my target is for my goals, and the achievements that I'm seeking. And then knowing that the people who are here to support that, or the people I'm here to work for in achieving that, are constantly a part of my life. That's very important to me. Very important. And so that gives me drive, that keeps me encouraged. Um, I'm not going to say, hey, it's super easy and every day is, you know, bliss from end to end. With everything in life, we're going to have challenges. That's the discipline that keeps us moving forward, which is why principles and purpose are so important, because we can have the principles that set our guidelines, and we can have that purpose that we understand exactly what we're working on and working towards. Um, and in having those, we still want to make sure that we are um, that we're doing it as the best version of ourselves, and understanding uh, what it feels like to be in that space, understanding what it takes for us to achieve it, even when things aren't perfect, even when things aren't always going in the way you would like to have them go. So that's going to be a big part. It's like that simple understanding of why you do it. Now, um, for myself, it took knowledge. You know, it took time to learn. It took overcoming my own difficulties, understanding my own um, expectations for myself, the things that I needed to do to make sure that I was being who I needed to be in every situation. But once you get that understanding, then everything else kind of falls in line with that, right? Because when you feel discouraged, or you feel challenged, or you feel like you can't move on, or you feel like you can't achieve, you go back to what that purpose is. And that purpose, even in difficult times, It's not that it's going to make you always get up and just go, start running and running and running, but it allows for you to recenter. It allows for you to say, okay, take a breath. I get it. Whatever this thing is that I just did that may or may not have worked out still goes towards the same objective, which is my purpose. And my purpose is to be a specific person and fit a specific ideal for my family. So that's really big for me. And so that's the work. How much drive comes from within versus from outside you? That's hard to say. I don't know if I could put a number on it. I don't know if it's a calculation of the amount of drive that comes from inside versus outside versus, or whether it's just the understanding of what it takes to achieve certain things. Because as I always explain, we're working in different areas. We're looking to achieve different things all the time, right? We're working to see improvement in different spaces all the time. And so sometimes that work is going to be motivated from different places. Sometimes that motivation does come from the outside. For most people, physical fitness or personal body fitness, the way they want to look, comes from outside, right? So wearing a certain outfit. Now there are outfits that you wear that you like. There are also outfits that you wear sometimes that are, you're just comfortable in. And then sometimes you're like, I'm going to this event and I want to be seen a certain way, and so I'm going to wear this outfit. And so sometimes that comes from the outside of you. And then usually we'll spend more money on the thing that we're getting for someone else to see than we'll spend on the thing that we're just getting for ourselves, right? So it's hard to put a number on it, but in life we kind of handle decisions the same way. And so a lot of it is going to come from where I want to be, what I'm trying to achieve for my family. Like that has to be internal, right? Because that has to apply to my purpose. The way that I do my work, the way I work and why I work in the way I do, that has to be internal. Like either you have the work ethic or you do not. Either you're going to always make your best effort at what you do or you are not. And so that's going to come from inside. But there are some external drivers, and we don't want to act like they don't exist. We don't want to act like they're not real things. Steve says, I got to log off. Just got to say, thanks for the advice you have a while ago. Peace. Hey, no problem, Steve. I'm glad I could help. Thank you for coming back to visit, and keep me updated. And so now, guys, we're going to get into today's structure, and today's topic is pretty simple. It's all about perfection, right? It's about how do we get to achieving perfection. And the reason that I wanted to have this conversation today is because perfection is not something, it's not what a lot of people believe. It's not the concept or the focus that a lot of people believe it is. Take an opportunity, if you haven't done so, there's a survey. You can do the quick survey, and it's just asking, how long do you believe it takes to achieve perfection? What is the time frame on achieving, perfection, right? What does that look like? What is that goal that we're trying to get to? And if we take a look at the survey and we just answer those questions, it's going to help us kind of figure out I'm working, like what is perfection? How do we get there? How long does it take? And I want us to be able to kind of cover this in detail. I want us to be able to understand that we are all on our own individual journey. And then we're looking for, it may not be absolutely perfect, but, we're looking for perfect moments. We're looking for perfect opportunities. We're looking for, different areas of perfection. And now let's take a look at how do we get there? How do we achieve it? What does it really look like in the moments when it arrives? And that's going to be a big thing, right? It's going to be a big thing that we want to know about. We want to be able to answer, right? Give everyone a moment to take the survey, get checked in. and then we're going to kind of delve into it, guys. So, first thing that I want to share, guys, thank you again for being here. I appreciate you stopping in, spending this midday with us. Here at BNV Finances, we do believe legacy starts at home, and we focus on discipline and the way discipline helps us move forward and grow. Today is very simple. It's the principles of perfection. The principles of perfection are simple because it's already in place. Perfection is not something we do. Perfection is not something we achieve. Perfection is not even something we work towards. We have to accept perfection in order to maximize what we do in any given moment, right? We first have to accept that perfection, if anyone can do me a favor, if anyone could just look up for me, because for this talk I didn't. I was supposed to, it was on my mind to do so, but I never looked up the Webster's Dictionary definition of perfection. But if someone could just let me know what perfection is as a book definition and what part of language it is, I really appreciate that, guys. If we could just take a moment, anyone out there, just kind of take a look, let me know what you come up with. I'm going to try to do it here on my end as well. Give me a moment. I have my browser on my studio. So let's see if I step away. What is the definition of perfection? So here we are, guys. The definition of perfection: the condition, state, or quality of being free or as free as possible from flaws or defects, right? So it's a condition, it's a state, right? Now, interestingly enough, that makes it a noun. Perfection is a person, a place, or a thing, right? Now, let's go ahead and say it's not a person. Let's go ahead to agree that as a noun, a person isn't going to fall into the perfect definition. Now, they might be perfect for you, but if a person is perfect for you, then that means they're without flaw for you. Are we? Right? That's human. To be human is to be flawed. So that's why relationships take work. We continue to work on relationships is because we are not perfect. It is the simple acceptance of the fact that we're not perfect, which is why we work on relationships, which is why we continue to develop ourselves mentally, emotionally, spiritually, which is why we work with others, which is why we have conversations, which is why we have fights, which is why we make up, which is why we make love. All of the things that we do, all of these things are driven off of the fact that we understand that we're not perfect. And so now that we have this understanding that we're not perfect, what's going on, Chinmoy? Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you. And so now that we understand that perfection, perfect, is a person, place, or thing, and we have this understanding that imperfect being a person, place, or thing. See, what's up, Fable? I'm doing good. Of course you're perfect. And so that thing is the book definition. Again, we're going to go back to like this Webster Dictionary. It's the condition, state, or quality of being free or as free as possible from all flaws or defects. What really makes us perfect? I'm doing quite well today, Fable. Thanks for stopping in, man. what makes things perfect is accepting our imperfection and understanding perfect is the moment, and stop trying to create the perfect moment, right? So our our planet, right? Right? This is the thing. Our planet's placement within our little solar system, and it's 93 million whatever approximate miles from the sun, a million miles in one direction or the other changes our outlook, right? It changes who we are, what we look like, what our opportunities are, what our planet looks like, right? And so in the vastness of outer space, right? 100 million miles is like that's like a bump, right? And so we're in this perfect distance for our planet to be heated and cooled for life to be sustained. We're in a perfect place, right? Of all the other galaxies and all the other places that we've looked, we haven't seen signs of life. Hey, there's some planets that could support life, but they're really far away, and we've sent messages and we've targeted them, and we're listening, but we're not hearing or seeing life coming from these planets, right? And so what does that mean? That means that perfection is about our ability to identify where we are, accept where we are, and live where we are, right? It's about our ability to be able to understand that the work that we do in these moments is understanding the perfect moment and taking action, not waiting, not sitting back, not being impatient, but understanding that as perfect as this could be, it is. And now we need to maximize the opportunity. As long as we keep sitting around, it's like, well, I'm going to do this when it's perfect. Like I'll work on this song at the perfect time. I'll release this song when it's perfect. Or I'll ask her out. I'm just waiting for the perfect time. Or I'll create this product, but I'm just waiting for a better time when it's more perfect. So that's what we have to do, is understand we're already in that perfect time. We're already there. Now we just need to maximize it. We need to do the most with it. Fable says, how do we know when the perfect moment is? It's this moment. If you're asking the question of when is the perfect moment to do something, right? This is it, right? Like, let's take, for example, crossing the street. There are plenty of opportunities to cross the street, right? But the right opportunity to cross the street is when you and your able-bodied ability can make it from one side to the other, right? So here in the United States, we drive on the right side of the road. So it's look left, look right, look left again, and then you cross. Over in the UK, you guys are going to look right, look left, look right again, and then you cross. Am I saying that correctly? Yeah, that should be the right way in the UK. I might be looking the wrong way because this thing is flipped. But here's the whole point. We're not looking for the perfect time to cross the street. We're looking for the right time to cross the street. Because, what's perfect? Are we measuring the distance between us and the cars? Right? Are we going to walk across the street or jog across the street? It's not even the perfect time when the light turns, right? Because the light can change and it can say it's your turn to walk. If someone runs the light, if someone just comes flying through and runs the light, it's still not the perfect time to cross the street. It is as perfect as it will ever be in the moment we start to take action. So the perfect time to do anything is now. The perfect state of anything is its current state. We can work to improve on it. We can work to say, hey, I'm working towards perfection, but there is nothing that we've perfected yet, because everything we do, we're finding that we can do better. We're finding that we can continue to improve on it, that some of the ways that we've done things have been flawed. Does that mean that to not act? It does not. It means we take what we know to take action now. And if we can see improvement along the process, we make that improvement. I'll give you a perfect example. The 4 principles of discipline that I use for my discipline dividend strategy are the same. They're repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. Originally, when I started them, or I started using them for myself, it was repetition, consistency, patience, and perseverance, right? Because the things that correlated, I've said they need to be next to each other. It took me to start using them for me to find out, yeah, patience isn't step 3. Patience cannot come after consistency. You have to understand and develop patience before you can start to be consistent. You can't build consistency with impatience. If you start with repetition and you never develop the patience to understand this thing is going to take time, you can't appropriately lay out or create a roadmap to achieve it. So patience must come. Patience must come before consistency. Repetition is just showing up. You can start repetition at any time. Just start doing it. That's repetition. There's nothing to it. We don't have, like, there's no goal. We're not trying to achieve anything. This is like, let's just do it. Whatever it is. Let's stop drinking soda. Just stop. Just as many days as possible, just keep not drinking soda, right? Those achievements, those things that we're looking at are specific to that, right? And so the reason I'm sharing this today is I wanted to get on, I wanted to share this, I wanted to be able to let everyone know, because it's something that I believe holds a lot of us back, is this belief that we're working towards perfection. We're pursuing mastery, right? We want to master a skill. And mastering a skill is simply saying, I'm acquiring the talents to be able to perform this task consistently without an undue level of effort, right? So a master chef doesn't mean that this chef can't have flawed meals. It means that this chef has gotten to a point where they understand herbs and seasonings and the type of things that we go through to try to figure out how things to go together, they know. Even if you give them something they're not aware of. And so that's important to know the difference between mastery and perfection. Mastery doesn't mean perfection, because you can be a master chef, but you still have to work with different things to know how to get them to be a certain way. So you're not the perfect cook, but you are a master chef. And that gives you a talent at a level where you can understand, I know what starchy things go with non-starchy things and how they react to one another and what things look like they wouldn't be good but end up making a great meal. And those are the things that are a part of being a master chef. So we can work towards mastery. And if we use discipline to work towards mastery, we're guaranteed to see success. But we have to stop this illusion of achieving perfection and understand we just have to accept that our planet is in the perfect distance, spinning at the perfect speed, at the perfect time for us to be here to take action. Let's take the action and stop thinking that we need to be perfect in order to take the action, or that we're pursuing perfection while taking the actions. Rich, the greater conversation, said patience. Novell says, is repetition and consistency not the same? If you're still there, Neville, I want to answer it for you, but I want to make sure you're still here, because I can definitely answer that for you, and I can give it to you with some clarity. And the immediate answer is no. But if you're still here, I want to be able to answer that for you and give you some clarity on it. And so here's why it's important for us to be able to understand about perfection and where we're going. Okay, so Neville, here's the difference between repetition and consistency, right? You cannot be consistent without a plan. Consistency requires measurement. Repetition does not. Repetition does not require for you to have any measurement or any mark at all. Repetition is just simply something that you do, right? You're not going to grade it. You can do it over and over, and you'll probably become better at it as you do it, but it's not consistency, right? You can show up to work every day. I'll give you a perfect example, and I usually use work for this example. You can show up to work every day, on time, every day, and be bad at your job, right? Not do whatever it is you do. You can show up every day and just continue to be bad. And we don't have anybody else to fill your space, and you're not getting any better. And it's like, but you're showing up. Okay, we can use repetition. We just understand that you are who you're going to be, and we'll allow for you to continue to show up with repetition, right? But if you have a drive and you say, hey, not only do I want to show up, but I want to get to a certain point. I want to achieve a certain mark. I want to make it somewhere, right? Intentionally for growth. That's where consistency comes in. So repetition doesn't require for you to be consistent. It just requires for you to show up. And this is why so many people fail to get true discipline, is because they think consistency is repetition. And they think just because I'm going to the gym every day, just because I'm making these trips to the gym, just because I'm showing up to work on time, that I'm being consistent. I'm always here, right? Just because, not a problem, Novell. So one of the areas I had to learn it is, I used to tell my wife, I'm here, I'm showing up. And my wife is like, yeah, that you're showing up. That doesn't mean you're here. Like, I had to take that to heart. I'm like, what are you talking about? That doesn't make sense. But it does. I can show up every day, but if I'm not consistently investing in a relationship, consistency is about having expectations and meeting them on a regular basis. That's consistency. It's not repetition. Repetition is just showing up to every game. Repetition is just being there in that moment. You're not. Marriages that fall into repetition but lack consistency, people grow apart. You have a repetition every day. You get up, you eat a meal, you go to work, you peck each other on the lips, you walk out, right? But then consistency requires for you to set some expectations. Hey, look, I get it. We got this thing. We leave here in the morning. We wake up in the morning, we leave, we come back here and we lay down with each other at night. We have the repetition. This is the repetition of it. Here's some expectations, right? In order for us to understand that if we believe we need to keep growing as individuals, then our relationship, our marriage needs to keep growing as well. So let's set some marks. Let's set some expectations of development on our relationship. Let's have conversations. Let's sit down and spend time with one another. Let's care. Let's put our devices down, look each other in the eye, and care about what's being said to one another. Because this is consistently. This is consistency, right? Consistency is, hey, I don't want to take out the trash. Okay, so there's a consistency. There's a mark. Babe, I'm going to take this trash out. I'm going to clean this bathroom up. I'm going to do this thing. And so then when you're not meeting it, when you're not hitting that mark, right, there's a, hey, listen, like I haven't been saying anything, but I told you I don't like cleaning bathrooms. And you're not getting to these bathrooms. These bathrooms aren't getting cleaned. That's an issue. But because we are working, right, on consistency, not just showing up, but on being consistent, that gives us something to look at. That gives us something to say, hey, I understand this is something we're working on. So let's continue to do that work. Let me do my part in that space. And that's the difference between repetition and consistency. That's the difference between mastering your space in your relationship versus trying to. Perfect marriage is not something that you're going to be able to achieve. We're not looking for, that's the difference between trying to find consistency in your relationship versus having the perfect marriage. Because the perfect marriage isn't something that you're going to be achieving, right? But we can have consistency. We can develop our talents and our abilities to make sure that we're showing up consistently in a way we would like to, in a way we should. You know, let's take a second to look at that. If you're sliding through here, you're just wondering, you see the star, you know what it means. For those of you who know, you know. Rich says, repetition requires showing up. Consistency needs a plan. Helpful distinction. Yes, indeed. Yes, indeed. And the benefit of it, like I said before, was that Debbie says, hit the like button. Please hit the like button, guys, if you haven't done so yet. I'd really appreciate it. So here's the big thing, right? And this is what I'm talking about in terms of perfection, right? For so many people, whenever you hear most people talk about discipline, they start with consistency, right? And this is why so many people are undisciplined, because you can't get to consistency until you just get to repetition and patience. You can't be consistent until you got to get the base. You got to get the underlying part, right? So to develop, like people talk about sports a lot. I like using sports because I believe the best way that you can really develop discipline is through physical challenges, because you can control that on your own, right? So let's take a look at that. We can see people on a grand scale. We see athletes perform at the highest possible level, right? But when we see athletes perform at the highest possible level, we're like, man, that's easy for them. It wasn't always. They were babies. They had to learn how to walk. You know, they had to learn how to run. They had to, like, it took work for them to get to where they are. And none of them are perfect, but they are all working towards mastery, and they're building the skill in what they do. So what does this mean? Well, first they had to have repetition. They were all bad at some point, right? They all were. Football players, at some point, they just had to start kicking a ball. They had to start throwing a ball. They had to start catching a ball. They had to start holding. Like, at some point, they had to start working with it. Basketball players, at some point, you just got to get to the basketball court. I don't know what I'm doing. I have no idea. I'm 7. I'm just getting to the basketball court every day. I'm 11. I'm just getting there. I don't know. I don't know what it takes yet. Allen Iverson has this great story he tells. One of the greatest basketball players to ever grace the planet. Just physically born with this agility and ability to have this hand-eye coordination and move his body in a way that is tremendous. With this development of who he was as a person, in order for him to learn to dribble a basketball, he had to spend time on it. He was in college. Now keep in mind, he was already so much better than everyone on his peer group. I mean, by a long shot, so much better than everybody in his peer group. Going to college, Division I, you know, he meets a guy there who teaches him the textbook version of a crossover, which he never learned. He was just physically better than everybody he ever played against. And then he gets there, he meets this guy, and this guy teaches him the very simple thing of step back, land on 2, and cross. Allen Iverson had never known it. Allen Iverson had just been faster than everyone. Whoop, 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 crossover, go to the rim. He learned. Keep in mind, he's already showing up. He already has repetition. He shows up. He's already patient because he knows I can't be in the league at 14. I can't be in the NBA at 12. I can't win a championship at 15. He knows that it's going to take steps. It's going to take time. I know I need to get better. I know I need to develop skill. So he has patience. Then he has to develop consistently. Consistency. Because if he didn't get better from who he was in 6th grade to 9th grade, he wouldn't be able to be on the team. The consistency is, hey, here's where your game is right now. This is what your crossover is right now. This is what your movement is right now. You need to be able to run faster. You need to be able to jump higher. You need to be able to be more explosive. So he had to become consistent on working on the tools to become better in those spaces, to achieve, to acquire those skills. And then in college, he's still growing. He's still developing new tools. That's consistency. That's development. He gets to the league in the NBA. He has to continue to develop. He has to continue to grow. And this is what it takes in order for you to work towards mastery, right? But there's a difference. You can't be consistent. I can't be consistent until I understand I need to keep showing up and I need to be patient. Once you learn to keep showing up and you learn to be patient, and then I learn patience, then I can learn to be consistent. But first, I have to learn to keep showing up. First, I have to understand what patience is. And then I develop the consistency. And the consistency is what I use to grow. Hey guys, we got a troll in here. Are you gonna hang out, young fighter? Or are you gonna just drop that one line and bounce? You need to stop yapping. What's going on, young fighter? How you doing, man? Do you have enough discipline to at least be a good troll? I'm talking about discipline, which means there has to be repetition, which means you need to show up. You need to be patient and understand before I get mad enough to block you and kick you off the page that you're going to have to keep working. You have to be consistent and you have to do it at a high enough level that it becomes irritating. And then you have to persevere when I get to the point where I'm ignoring you. And he couldn't even do that. Young fighter's gone already, guys. Everybody, just give a thumbs up or applause for young fighter stopping pass. So what is this talking about, right? So what am I talking about? What am I sharing with us today? The thing that we're sharing is that we have to continue to identify where the work needs to be done in order to achieve perfection, right? Because there's no work to achieve perfection. It's the moment that's perfect. So the work goes towards mastery. And if we're using discipline and the steps of discipline to work towards mastery, we're assured to see success. It takes that time and that effort. It takes that work. And then when we're dedicated to it, when we're truly disciplined, wherever we point it, we're definite to succeed. There's no question that we're going to be successful. And this is what we're working on. This is where our strength comes from. This is where our development comes from. And it doesn't matter if we're working on relationships, whether we're working on finances, whether we're working on physical challenges, whatever it is, it's the exact same pattern. So we have to stop looking for perfection. We have to stop looking for the perfect time, or, oh, I made the perfect decision, or, oh, this is the perfect person for the job, or the perfect person for me. We have to understand, we have to jump out there. We have to get started. And once we start doing the work, now we're growing. Now we're developing. Now we're getting better. Now we're starting to see achievement. The big thing that I want to see for all of us is the understanding that the work that we do is for our tomorrow. The things we do today are paying into our future. And as we continue to do that work, we'll continue to see success as we work towards mastery. So it's not about achieving perfection. It's about accepting that this is the perfect time for whatever it is we need to do. Whatever it is we're thinking about doing, whatever it is we believe we're trying to achieve, we have to understand and accept that it's the perfect time to do it and get to work. It's not about trying to be perfect. It's about accepting the perfect time that we're in, right? So now I want to continue to encourage you guys to take this information, Take the discipline dividend and the structure of it and apply it to things in your life. And you're going to be able to see the rewards. You're going to be able to see the returns. You're going to be able to see the benefit and the growth. Again, the easiest place to apply it is always going to be on on fitness. And the reason fitness is going to be the easiest place to apply it is given the physical tools to achieve anything. It's just a matter of challenging yourself. It's just a matter of setting any fitness goal and then achieving it. Hey, I want to just go outside for a walk every day. Okay, let's get outside for a walk every day. That's it. That's repetition, right? But everybody wants consistency, right? And the problem with wanting to be consistent at the beginning is most people don't achieve consistency at the beginning, and they're trying to start on level 3 when they need to be starting on level 1. And when you try to be consistent with the walk every day, and this is the difference between consistency and repetition. If you just want to try to get out for a walk every day, it doesn't matter if you walk to the end of the driveway and back, you got out for a walk. It doesn't matter if you miss the day. You can say, well, there's always tomorrow. Let me get up and go for a walk. Repetition is about getting into a pattern. Okay, I find that I'm not doing it every day. Let me take a walk every other day. Let me take a walk 3 times a week. I just need to find a repetition that I can commit to. And I don't need it to be phenomenal. I don't need it to be a 3-mile walk. I don't need it to do it. I don't need to reduce the time. I just need to get out and I need to walk every day. And once we get to the point that we're understanding that we're taking that challenge and we're doing that with repetition, now we can be patient and say, I get it. Like, I'm not at a point yet where I'm out here every day walking. But for the days that I am out here, the 2 days or the 3 days or whatever it is, I'm going to come out and I'm going to do my walk. And now we have something to build off of. I'm not going to be fixed tomorrow. I'm not going to be running miles tomorrow, but I'm working on it. I'm going to continue to work. And then after you hit that, there's going to get a point where you're going to be like, okay, I've been doing this. I want to do better. I want to get more from it. At that point, you've accepted that this is going to take time, and you've accepted that I'm showing up on these specific times continuously. Then you move to consistency. All right, I'm showing up 2 days a week, 3 days a week, and I'm going for a walk. I've been doing different walks, and I'm like your body will ask. When you create repetition, your body will ask for structure in order for it to make sure that it can complete the goal. Your body will tell you, it'll be like, listen, we keep going for walks every day. It is random. It is random. I need some structure. Your body will ask for it. It will demand it. You're like, okay, we're going to do 3 laps around the block. All right, we've been doing that. Okay, we can do 3 laps around the block. We've been doing it for a while. What else are we going to do? Okay, I'm going to go a little faster. All right, well, instead of going around the block, I'm going to go down here to the store. I'm going to get this every day, and then I'm going to go back here. And then you start to see growth. Your body will beg for consistency. It will beg for a plan. It will beg for a goal, for something to achieve, because it wants to grow. Once you start doing that, you're moving into that window where you're working towards mastery. And once you build the perseverance and you start achieving these goals, then you know that you're in the right place to start moving on. You're in the right place to become better. You're in the right place to really start applying it to different places or to different areas of your life and to continue to see growth, continue to see development. That's what we're looking for, guys. That's the difference between perfection and the pursuit of mastery, right? Because it's not about perfection. The perfection is the acceptance that the perfect moment is now. The perfect place is here. And the perfect time is now. And to take advantage of it. And to start taking action. So stop trying to create or pursue perfection. Understand the reality of your moment. It is perfect, and that it requires discipline and action from you to go towards mastery. And if we use discipline to work towards mastery, it's a guarantee we'll see success along the way. Without a doubt. As always, guys, I'm getting ready to check out. Thank you so much for being here. If you haven't had the opportunity to do so, please drop a thumbs up. I really appreciate it. Like, share, visit the page, and we'll definitely be back to check in with you guys again. It's great having you here today. So, as I said, doing this a whole talk, 4 pillars to discipline are going to be repetition, patience, consistency, and perseverance. And finally, keep showing up, keep blowing up, keep growing up. You guys take care, and God bless.